Greetings, Slackers. It's December 29th, 2016, and I'm over here on the Telegraph with another article I wanted to share with you. Huge rise in sextortion by crime gangs using social media to entrap victims. And this is by Patrick Sawyer. Organized criminal gangs are blackmailing growing numbers of young men after using social media to entice them into performing sex acts on screen. Police have revealed an unprecedented rise in the new crime of webcam blackmail, known as sextortion, with more than 900 cases reported so far this year. That is already more than double the total for the whole of 2015. But senior officers at the National Crime Agency fear the true scale of the problem is far bigger, with many victims too ashamed to report their involvement to police. Among recent victims were four young men who became so desperate at the thought of being publicly humiliated that they took their own lives. Police are now launching a campaign to raise awareness of the problem, including a hard hitting film to be shown on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms to warn of the dangers of entrapment. The phenomenon has mushroomed alongside the use of social media by growing numbers of people, particularly in their teens and 20s. Some of the victims are as young as 14, while the majority are in the 18 to 24 age bracket. There are also some in their 50s to 80s. More than 90% of victims are male. Assistant Commissioner Martin Hewitt, the National Police Chiefs Council lead for adult sexual offenses, said, quote, "This is a really worrying emerging new threat. As a result of this crime, we've already had four young men in the UK kill themselves because they saw no way out of the situation they had got themselves into." Roy Sinclair, head of operations at the NCA's Anti-Kidnapping Extortion Unit, added, quote, "There's a huge underreporting of these kinds of offenses, often because victims feel ashamed or embarrassed, but of course criminals are relying on that reaction in order to succeed. This is still a relatively new and emerging type of crime. However, the trend is clear. Cases of webcam blackmail or sextortion are going up dramatically. As recently as 2012, we were only getting a handful of reports. Now we're getting hundreds. The crime is deceptively simple, typically involving the intended victim being approached through social media by an ostensibly attractive young woman who entices into engaging in explicit conversation, culminating in a sex act. As soon as the act has been caught on camera, the victim receives a demand for cash ranging typically from £50 to £500. With the threat, the recorded film will be sent to all their friends and contacts, downloaded while the victim was online, and broadcast across the internet. Behind the young woman used to enticing the victim on screen will lie an organized crime gang, sometimes operating in the UK but frequently based overseas, targeting hundreds of other victims at a time. British police have traced a number of gangs to Morocco, the Philippines, and the Ivory Coast, where officers are working with the local authorities to help smash their operations and bring the perpetrators to justice. 40 men were arrested in the Philippines after two raids in June following intelligence supplied to local police by British officers. One of the cases being brought to trial involves one of the four suicide victims, though police would not reveal further details because of the extreme sensitivity of the case. Among the other victims this year was a man in his late 20s from Northern Ireland who was blackmailed after being approached on through a dating app by a young woman. After sharing explicit photos of himself, the woman threatened to send them to his family and Facebook friends and demanded payment. The young man, known only as Jimmy to protect his identity, sent her £150 via PayPal before going to the police. He said, quote, "I was so worried about what my friends and family would think. I spoken to my mom about it. That was tough enough, but I still can't talk to anyone else. I'm okay now, but at the time it was so hard." End quote. The NCA film featuring a young blackmailer called Jess is to be broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms to warn of the dangers of sextortion. Police advise social media users never to do anything compromising online with someone they don't know or trust. Cease all contact immediately if they receive a blackmail demand. Never under any circumstance pay the blackmailer and immediately report the matter to the police. Assistant Commissioner Hewitt said, quote, "This kind of offense is being perpetrated by organized crime and we will take it seriously." Now, This is over in the UK. But if you're here in the States, stateside like I am, this is also a growing trend and is one that has been growing really ever since MySpace sort of came on the scene years ago, if you remember all that. And so you have revenge porn, and now you have sextortion, where people are acquiring your pictures and then blackmailing you with them for money. And I would tell younger guys, because I know that this is where the most vulnerability is. You know, you get horned up talking to some what you think is an attractive young girl. You know, the conversation turns sexual and you feel inclined to share an explicit photo. Well, that's where you basically just took the rope and hung yourself. We've got to slow down out there when communicating with people online. I'm not saying that there's anything specifically wrong with the sharing of explicit photos. I mean, you have to have a high level of trust to be doing that in the first place. And it's not uncommon for guys to ask, women for, hey, show me your tits. Let me see your tits, whatnot. So this does happen. But now that you have Facebook, which so many people try to get you to get offline, and come be friends on their profile, and they're able to see your profile and they're able to see your contacts. Okay. Things are going to a new level that I don't think a lot of people, including myself, have even thought that they would go to, thanks to the internet, the proliferation of smartphones, and web cameras. So, for you guys out there who do engage in this type of behavior, which is pretty common on Craigslist, a lot of you are putting your pictures out there. Plenty of fish as well. You might talk to a woman and think that, oh, she's someone you would want to get to know and meet, and then you're sending her a photo. I want to basically caution you to refrain from exposing yourself like that and to try to learn how to have some control over that impulse. Okay, this is building a muscle because the less stupid stuff you do, the less that there will be out there for someone to hang you with. I want to help you to save money and also keep yourself safe. So that's why I'm sharing this article and this video. Please share this with others so that they know. If you have girlfriends and female friends, share this with them so that they can protect themselves by all getting on the same page. That's how we help one another out and have more fun, have more money in our pockets, and at the same time, reduce the risk of embarrassing ourselves out there in this vast online world. Those are my thoughts on the matter. What are yours? Share those down in the comment section below. The link to this will be down in the description box. And as always, that's going to do it for this article and this video. I'll catch you in the next one.